Alright, welcome back to Game 4 of the 1995 World Series replay between the Atlanta Braves and the Cleveland Indians. The Braves have a 2-1 series lead, and they will be looking to take a stranglehold on the series. This is game number 2 in Cleveland, so both teams split the 2 games in Atlanta. Atlanta took game number 3, and we are headed to game number 4. Let's get this one started. Played on October 25th, 1995. Oh, didn't do Luis Polonia here. He is -6. Okay. Oh, didn't do all these guys either. Alright, so I think now we're ready to go. So, let's go through the Braves lineup. It's Marquis Grissom leading off. He's playing center field. Luis Polonia gets his second start in a row. He's playing left field, batting second. Chipper Jones batting third, playing third base. Fred McGriff playing first base and hitting cleanup. Dave Justice in right field, hitting fifth. Ryan Klesko is the DH, he's hitting sixth. Javi Lopez is catching for the third game out of 4. And he is going to be batting seventh. Mark Lemke is a switch hitter. He's playing second base and batting 8th. Rafael Belliard is the 9th place hitter. He is at the shortstop position. Steve Avery gets the start. He's not an old left-hander at this point, but he is a veteran left-hander at this point in his career, and this is kind of the best you're going to get from Steve Avery from the rest of his career on. 25 is his stamina, 413 is his FIP, and he is a left-hander. For the Indians, it's Kenny Lofton leading off and playing center. Omar Vizquel is the shortstop, hitting second. Carlos Baerga, switch hitting second baseman, hitting third. Albert Bell is in left field. He is the cleanup man. Eddie Murray is the DH for the second game in a row. He's a switch hitting batter playing or hitting in the 5th spot. Manny Ramirez in right field is hitting 6th. Some curious additions here. Herbert Perry, the first baseman, is hitting 7th, and Alvaro Espinoza playing 3rd for Jim Thome. Sandy Alomar Jr. gets the start at catcher. I'm assuming that these two are in the game because of the left-handed pitcher, although I don't think that happened in game 1 or game 2. We have game 2. We still had Jim Thome in there. Kind of strange. That was game 2 was against Tom Glavine. That's why I'm saying that. So a little bit strange to bring Perry and Espinoza in. Perry I get because the other option is Paul Sorrento, so maybe it just wasn't good against lefties. So we'll see how it goes in this one. Ken Hill is on the mound for the Indians, sort of at the midpoint of his career. Had played for St. Louis at that point, and 401 FIP, pretty good. He was 4-1 in 11 games started, 3.98 ERA, so mid-level pitcher. Avery 7-13 with a 4.67 ERA, so expect a few runs here, but we'll see how things go. So it'll be Grissom, Polonia, and Jones leading off for the Bravos. 45 is going to be a single right off the bat. That's a long single that turns into a double. So his speed is 6, and we have a single with an asterisk, and that's going to be a long single for Marquis Grissom. He's going to wind up pushing the envelope, getting into second base, and a runner in scoring position with nobody out. 16, that's going to be a deep fly ball into right center field. Pushes everybody back to the track. It's going to be the right fielder Ramirez making the play. As he catches it and bounces up against the wall, that's going to send the runner Grissom to third on the F9. So productive out there from Luis Polonia, who gave it a ride. Didn't quite get it out. And that brings up Chipper Jones with an opportunity for an RBI in his first at bat. This is a ground out to the catcher. The catcher looks back the runner at third and then makes the throw to first. Chipper Jones can't knock in the run here. Let's see if Freddie McGriff can pick him up. Runner at third base with 2 outs for the Braves, and that's going to be a strikeout as Ken Hill gets the K. Fred McGriff and the Braves strand a runner at third base. That's a tough one after a leadoff double from Marquise Grissom. So we head to the bottom of the first inning, no score. Steve Avery will face off against Lofton, Vizquel, and Baerga. 46 is going to be a strikeout. That'll be out number 1. Steve Avery, 141 Ks in 173 innings. You remember he had a good fastball and an excellent over-the-top curveball. Big, tall, lanky guy, sort of threw over the top. 12 is going to be a ground out that goes to the second baseman. No problem there for the Lemmer as he makes the throw over to first. And that's 2 down in the inning. Carlos Baerga up with nobody on and 2 outs, and he will fly out to left center field. Ranging over is going to be the left fielder Polonia. He'll be there to make the catch. Should give that to 7. And out number 3. So 1-2-3 inning for Steve Avery and the Braves. As they go to the top of the second inning, we have no score. And it will be Justice, Klesko, and Lopez for Atlanta. 26, that's going to be a base hit with an error check. So that's an error check on Manram, the right fielder. He's a minus. So 1 or 2, it's going to be an error on top. And it is. So it's a single with an error. So base hit to right with an E9 as Manny loses focus and doinks the ball. He gets it back in, but Justice is as second on the error in the outfield. Klesko is up. A 22 is going to be a double or a triple if the D10 is an 8. It's a 1, and so that's going to be a 2-bagger down the left field line as Klesko ropes it into the corner. That's going to be a double, and that'll bring home the first run of the game. For either team, so the Braves take a 1-0 lead on the Ryan Klesko RBI. Javi Lopez up, runner in scoring position with nobody out. 36 is going to be a fly out that goes out to left center field. Albert Bell ranges over, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. 1 down in the second, Braves up 1-0. And Mark Lemke stands in. He's going to be batting left-handed, and he will strike out as he goes through a changeup. And that's out number 2. Belliard to the plate. 16 will be a fly out into left center field. No issues there. It's deep, but playable for Albert Bell. And after giving up a couple of hits to start off the inning and a run, Ken Hill settles in and gets the final 3 outs of the second inning. 1-0 is our score. Atlanta over Indiana over the Indians, and this is Game 4 of the '95 World Series. It'll be Albert Bell, Eddie Murray, and Manny Ramirez against Steve Avery. 15 is going to be a fly ball that goes out to center field, and playing it in right center field is Marquise Grissom, who ranges over and catches it for the out. 1 out in the inning. Eddie Murray to the plate. Murray 21 homers in 1995. He's going to ground out here though, and that is a grounder to the second baseman. Lemke up with it over to first, and that's out number 2. Manny Ramirez to the plate. 308 average, 31 homers, 107 RBIs, and the man is hitting 6th or 7th in your lineup. That's pretty good. 44 just misses that home run though. It's going to be a fly out to straightaway right field. We're going to check for an error on the right fielder. It's Dave Justice. Only a 1 is an error, and it's a 7. So Justice makes the play on the run. Good play there. That's another 1-2-3 inning for Steve Avery, who is cruising early in this one as he makes it through top 2/3 of the order with no problem. We head to the top of the third. It's 1-0 Atlanta. Ken Hill facing off against Marquise Grissom, Polonia, and Jones. 16 is going to be a fly ball. That's out to deep right field. Manny is on his horse. He gets back to the track, reaches up, and makes the catch deep in right field. Marquise Grissom gave it a ride, but not quite enough. Luis Polonia also has hit the ball hard, but didn't have much to show for it. This is going to be a triple, though, as Luis Polonia hits one into the right center field gap. Manram tries to dive for it, misses it, and Polonia is going to wind up at third base. Lofton backed him up, but not before Polonia got to third. He thought about an inside the Parker, but decided to stay there. And so we got a 1-out triple from Luis Polonia, and it'll be Chipper Jones to the plate. This is going to be a ground out to the third baseman. Third baseman takes a look at Polonia. Polonia says, "I'm not going anywhere." And he stays at third. And Chipper, again, unable to drive in the run. Last time it was a grounder to the catcher. This time it's a grounder to the third baseman. Could it have been hit to the right side, I would have sent him, but it wasn't. And Fred McGriff, though, comes through. He struck out last time, but he's going to hit a long single here. And that's going to be an RBI single as he drives in the runner from third. Coming home to score is Polonia. And it is now 2-0 Atlanta as we are 2 outs into the top of the third. Brings up Dave Justice with 2 outs and 1 on. Justice with a single and an error last time. He's going to hit another single this time just over the shortstop's head into left center field. It was a rope. With 2 outs, McGriff is going to take third. And we got runners at the corners for Ryan Klesko. Klesko with an RBI double in his first at bat. An 11, though, is going to be a strikeout as Ken Hill gets him on the fastball, swings through it, and that'll be out number 3. The Braves do tack on one more. They have a 2-0 lead, but they stranded 2 in the top of the third. Nice job by Hill, getting himself out of a particularly difficult situation. Steve Avery facing the bottom of the order. This will be a double or a home run. It's a double if it's a 1-4. Home run 5-9. It's a 5, and Herbert Perry touches him. He had a .315 average with 3 homers and 23 RBIs. He's going to add a home run here as Herbert Perry with the solo bomb off of Steve Avery cuts the lead in half. It's now 2-1. There's a question in that move, but worked out well so far. That'll be a fly ball into deep left center field. Going back on it to the track is Polonia, and he makes a nice running catch at the wall, and that'll be out number 1 as Alvaro Espinoza gave the ball a ride. Brings up Sandy Alomar Jr., the catcher. 300 average, 10 homers, and 35 RBIs in 1995. This will be a ground ball, smoked to the second baseman. Nice play by Lemke, and he gets it over to first for out number 2. I'll turn the lineup back over to the top, and it's Kenny Lofton leading off. He struck out in his first at bat. A 34 is going to be a single into left center field. We'll see if there's an error on Grissom. Grissom, a plus defender, and he gets it and brings it back into the infield. So Kenny Lofton is at first, and let's go ahead and try to steal with Lofton. He's a 1-9. He's only thrown out on a 10, and that's a 3, so he's going to be in there with the stolen base as he sets himself up for base hit, scores a run. 34, that's going to be a single, and that's exactly what they got. That's over the first baseman's head down the line in right field. Kenny Lofton's going to come in to score. It's an RBI single for Vizquel. Let's see if there's an error on the right fielder, Justice. There is not. And that's going to tie our ball game at 2 as Omar Vizquel comes through in the clutch with a little poke down the right field line. Brings up Carlos Baerga. Baerga flied out to left field in his first at bat. 35 is going to be a ground out that goes to the first baseman. With 2 outs, just going to take it right to the bag himself. And that should have been 1 there too, right? Oh, I'm sorry. They scored 2 in this inning. Okay, that's a 0 and that's 2. All right, keep it together, Brian. Keep it together. All right, so 2 come in that inning, a leadoff home run from Herbert Perry, and then an RBI single from Omar Vizquel after the stolen base from Lofton, as the Indians manufactured a run there. 2-2 is our score. We got Lopez, Lemke, and Belliard. They'll be facing off against Ken Hill in the 4th. And 11 is going to be a walk, as Javi Lopez, patient at the plate, takes a walk, and he'll be at first base with nobody out. Mark Lemke up. Lemke and Belliard are in the same class. So what we're going to do, and Grissom too, we're just going to let it ride and let him hit away. A 12 is going to be a ground out to the third baseman, a little chopper, short chopper. The only play is going to be to first. So he makes the throw to first, and going to second base on the fielder's choice is going to be Javi Lopez. So just like a bunt. And that brings up Rafi Belliard. A 33 to Belliard, that's either a double or a home run. We can't do a 10, so we're going to re-roll. If it's a 5 to 9, it's a home run for Rafael Belliard, who had 0 home runs. It's a 7. Oh, the little man with a big swing, and he hits a home run, 2-run jack for Rafael Belliard. I can't believe it. Nobody else can either. I think he probably only hit a few in his career, but he pokes one out at the best possible time, and that's going to be a 2-run homer. That puts the Braves up 4-2, and Marquise Grissom stands in with 1 out, nobody on. 26, that'll be a grounder, a little 2-hopper to short. Easy play for Vizquel. And that takes us to Polonia. Polonia with a triple and a run scored in his last at-bat. Manny misplayed it in right field, led to a triple. This is going to be a deep fly ball into right center field. He's hit it there a couple times, and Manny Ramirez up to it this time. So that's out number 3. The Braves do get 2 runs on the improbable Rafael Belliard home run, and that takes us to the bottom of the 4th inning. 4-2 is our score. Steve Avery still on the mound. He'll face off against Bell, Murray, and Manram. This is a single to straightaway left field. The left fielder is Luis Polonia, and he's going to make the play. So no error on the play. Albert Bell is at first with nobody out. Brings up Eddie Murray. A 12 is going to be a grounder that's hit softly to first base. The only play is to first, and so the first baseman McGriff is just going to pick it up and step on the bag. Going to second base is Albert Bell on the fielder's choice. Manny Ramirez stands in with an opportunity to drive in a run. He flied out to right in his first at-bat, but he's got a 34 here. 34 is going to be a walk for Manny, and that'll put runners at first and second. Sets up a potential double play if Steve Avery can get it. A 45, that's going to be a long single for Herbert Perry, who has stepped in quite nicely, as he's going to score this run from second base, and the runner on first is going to go to third. And Herbert Perry is going to take a big turn at first, but he's going to stay there. That's an RBI single for Perry. He's got 2 of the 3 runs for the Indians, and it is 4-3 Cleveland in this game 4. Alvaro Espinoza hit it hard into left center field last time, but didn't quite get it out. This is going to be a ground out to the second baseman. The only play is to first with less than 2 outs. That's going to score the runner from third, so that ties our ball game again as Espinoza hits it into the hole on the right side. The only play was to first. So the runner Ramirez comes in, and Sandy Alomar Jr. stands in. It's 4-4. Got a good tight one here. This is going to be a grounder to the shortstop. No problem there for Belliard, who gets it over to first for out number 3. 2 more come in for the Indians in the 4th, and we head to the top of the 5th, all tied 4-4. As it'll be the middle of the order, Jones, McGriff, and Justice. So let's see what happens here. Chippewa Jones, a 34. That's going to be a single. That's down the left field line as he sort of pokes it over the third baseman's head. And we'll see if there's an error on the play. Left fielder is Bell, and he makes, oh man, he makes another error. That's the 4th error in 4 games, and Chipper Jones on the little bobble takes second base, and he's going to be at second with nobody out. Fred McGriff 1 for 2 with an RBI. He's going to walk here, and that sets up a potential double play. So it'll be runners at first and second base with nobody out, and Dave Justice standing in. Justice having a great series. He's 2 for 2 today with a run scored. Couple of singles. 24 though is going to be a double play as he hits it to shortstop. That's going to be a perfect 6-4-3, and that'll push the runner over to third base, but that's going to be 2 outs in the inning, as Ken Hill says, I'll trade those 2 outs for the base runner getting to third. So it's up to Klesko. Klesko 1 for 2 with an RBI double in the first, or the second inning. A 15 is going to be a ground ball to the third baseman. Hot shot, but a good play by Espinoza as he backhands it and throws a good strike over to first. And that keeps the Braves from scoring. Big time double play there from Vizquel to Baerga to Perry at first. And that keeps the game tied. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's 4-4. Steve Avery is still on the mound. He can go 25 batters. He's only at 18 at this point. Going third time through the order, a 34 to Kenny Lofton is going to be a single. That's a base hit up the middle. Oh, almost an error on Marquise Grissom. But Grissom keeps it in front of him. And why not? Let's just go ahead and steal again. Only on a 10 do we have an out. It's a 7, and that's going to be another stolen base for Kenny Lofton. Kind of hard to keep old Kenny Lofton from stealing 54 stolen bases out of 69 attempts. So, Omar Vizquel to the plate. He had an RBI in his last situation like this. Let's see if he can come through again. 35 is going to be a double play or a strikeout with no double play in order. We'll do the strikeout, so that's going to be Steve Avery catching Omar Vizquel, looking, fastball in the corner, and he can't pull the trigger. So that's going to be 1 down in the inning. Brings up Carlos Baerga to the plate. Baerga over 2. Hopefully I'm not pushing that out of the line of sight. 46 is going to be another strikeout, and this time he gets Baerga swinging. It was a breaking ball. Baerga couldn't catch the break on it, and we have Joey Bell to the plate. He's 1 for 2. He had a single and a run scored. A 34 is going to be a walk. And that puts runners at first and second. Avery trying to dance through this inning. Still tied at 4. A 24 is going to be another strikeout. So Avery strikes out the side. But, well, I guess there is no but. He only strikes out the side. The Indians leave 2 on and the 5th, and we head to the top of the 6th. Still tied at 4. Big game here. If the Braves win this game, they're going to take a 2-1 advantage. I'm sorry, they'll take a 3-1 advantage If the Indians win, they tie the series back at 2 with one more game yet to be played in Cleveland. This game went 6 games, so 4-2, Atlanta over Cleveland. They're going to send Ken Hill back out there for another inning. He can still go 3 more batters before he gets to his stamina, so probably the last inning for him. Good 6 innings so far. He's given up 4 runs, but and they've all been earned. That's what I meant to say. 35 is a ground ball that goes to Freddie McGriff. Actually, it goes to Herbert Perry, and Perry's going to scoop it up and pitch it to the pitcher covering. We go 3-1 on the putout, and Javi Lopez is out number 1 in the 6th. The Limmer is up. He's 0 for 2. He's got a strikeout and a ground out. Excuse me. This will be a fly ball, and coming in hard on the left field line is Albert Bell, and he'll make the catch in fair territory. Lemke is down for out number 2. Rafi Belliard to the plate. He's the man of the hour. He has a 2-run homer, a possible second home run, maybe a double. It's a home run if it's a 5 or greater. What are the odds? What are the possibilities? Not good. He doubles, and he doubles into the right center field gap. It one hops the wall, and Belliard with a 2-bagger. Normally that would have been a double, but he had a home run opportunity. So Rafael Belliard is the man of the hour. He's at second base in scoring position. Can Marquise Grissom bring him in? It's a fly ball into center field. We'll have an error check on the center fielder. Lofton is there, and he's true, and he makes the catch for out number 3. So the Braves strand another runner in scoring position, and we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Still tied at 4, and we will send so 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3. We'll send Steve Avery out there for one more inning and see how this goes. That's going to be a strikeout of Manny Ramirez. So back-to-back Ks now for Steve Avery, going back to the last inning. Manny is 0 for 2 with a walk. Herbert Perry up. He's 2 for 2. He's got a home run and a single and 2 RBIs, and he's going to add a double. Is it possible Herbert Perry can go for the cycle? I suppose it's possible. I mean, he's a 4.5 batting runs. It's not, a total scrub bucket player, but kind of wild. He's got a home run, a single, and a double. Alvaro Espinoza to the plate. This is going to be a ground out to shortstop, and that is an error on Rafael Belliard. So error on the shortstop. The runner was not going from second. I can't imagine he would be going to third even on an error. So we'll leave him there. That's going to be Sandy Alomar Jr. with 2 on and 1 out. 26, that'll be a grounder to second base. Going to go the short way, get the fielder's choice. That'll push the runner over to third, and that's going to be out number 2. Getting to first is Sandy Alomar, so 6-4 on the fielder's choice. And runners at the corners now with 2 down for Kenny Lofton. Lofton is 2 for 3, couple singles, couple stolen bases. 46 though is going to be a strikeout as Steve Avery bears down in his last frame and keeps the Indians from getting across home plate. And we are going to be tied going into the 7th inning. Let's get a new pitcher for Ken Hill. What do we got coming up? We got left switch, left. This is a good time for Paul Osemacher. So let's go ahead and use him again. Lefty specialist. And he is the perfect pitcher to face the middle of this order. So it's 6 innings for Ken Hill. He gives up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hits, 4 runs. He had 2 walks 2, 3 Ks. So decent enough start there as Ken Hill gives way to Paul Ossenmacher. At this point, Ken Hill is not in line for a decision, so Ossenmacher takes over against Luis Polonia, Chipper Jones, and Fred McGriff. 15, that's going to be a base hit over the right fielder's head as Luis Polonia catches a fastball, knocks it down the right field line, and he's going to be at first with nobody out. Let's go ahead and try to steal with Luis Polonia. He's got a 60% chance of stealing. I realize this is really taking a chance, but a 1 to 6, he'll be safe. It's 3, and Polonia slides in safely with the stolen base. So runner in scoring position for Chipper Jones. Chipper is 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. He had a base hit his last time up though. Let's see what he can do here. 15. 15 is going to be a single, and that's hit into right center field. And that'll push the runner to third base. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to send that runner from third base. So you can send runners if you want to. You just have to roll against their speed. So a 1 to 6, he'll be safe at home. Polonia rounds the corner. Here comes the throw from Manram. It's a 2, and Polonia is in there safe at home. That's an RBI single for Chipper. And the Braves take a 5-4 lead. Already got McGriff up. McGriff stands in with a runner at first, nobody out. A 12 is going to be a ground ball, a little tapper out in front. The only play is to first, and so Chipper moves up on the fielder's choice. Fred McGriff, as good as a bunt, hoping for something a little better than the bunt, but gets the runner into scoring position at second base. That'll be Dave Justice to the plate now. He's 2 for 3, grounded into a double play in his last at bat. Here he's going to hit a little tapper to first, a little 6 hopper that the first baseman Perry is going to grab and take to the bag himself. That's going to move the runner over to third base, and we got one 90 feet away. Braves have a 1-run lead, 5-4 here in the top of the 7th, as they squeezed one out against Paul Ossenmacher. Klesko, this is going to be a fly ball out into right center field. Let's check Kenny Lofton. No error on Kenny Lofton as he makes the play in the gap, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning. So the Braves put one on in the 7th. It's 5-4, and we're going to get a new pitcher for the Bravos. What do we got here? All right, so we still got to cover 1, 2, 3 innings, right? Let's go with Brad Klontz again. Actually, you know what? An Alejandro Pena sighting might be appropriate. So we'll go Pena, Klontz, Wohlers. Actually, we'll go, yeah. Is that right? Yeah, I think we can still do Wohlers. If we have to go for Wohlers in another game, like a 3rd game in a row, probably won't do that. So Alejandro Pena. Pena was a good pickup at some point in the Braves run. Early. 2-2-6. Alright, so that's going to end Steve Avery's day at 6 innings. He goes 6 innings, he goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. There were 4 runs, 2 walks, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Ks. So excellent start for Steve Avery, but he actually, he's the pitcher of record. I guess he's in there. He can still get a win since he was still in there when the Braves took the lead. So Alejandro Pena comes in. He'll face Vizquel, Baerga, and Bell And let's see if he can get the job done. 56 is going to be a strikeout as he gets Omar Vizquel looking. Vizquel 2 strikeouts in a row. He's 1 for 4 now in the game with an RBI. That's going to bring up Carlos Baerga. Baerga 0 for 3 with a K. 46, that's going to be a second strikeout as Pena coming in and dealing. His strikeout percentage is 34%. So there's that part. All right, so 2 Ks. He faces Albert Bell, 14. That's going to be a base hit, and that is into right field, line drive. Albert Bell now 2 for 3. He's had an excellent series, and so has Eddie Murray, but today's been pretty tough for the old man. This is going to be a fly out, and that goes to left field. No problem in left for Polonia as he squeezes it for out number 3. Good inning from Alejandro Pena as he holds Cleveland scoreless. The outs are running out for the Indians. Atlanta is up 5-4. We're going to get a new pitcher for the Indians. And let's go with Eric Plunk. How about that? So we got Eric Plunk coming into the game. I remember Eric Plunk cards. I don't know who he played for. I'll say something like Milwaukee or something. But I remember his baseball cards. So 1 inning for Osemacher. He gives up 2 hits, 1 run, no walks and no Ks. So he's on the hook for the loss, and we'll see if the Indians can come back in this one. It's Javi Lopez, Mark Lemke, and Rafi Belliard in the top of the 8th. 56, that's going to be a strikeout. And he'll get him looking. Eric Plunk with the K. As Javi Lopez goes down for the 3rd time in this game. He is 0 for 3. Mark Lemke stands in. He's 0 for 3 as well. 45, though, that's going to be a long single as he hits that one into the gap in left center field. Not a lot of speed there from the Lemmer, so he dreams about going to second and then heads back to first. 1 down with a runner at first for Rafi Belliard. A 22, that's going to be a double as Belliard, another double, rips it into the gap in right center field. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. That's going to push Mark Lemke to third base, and we got runners at second and third. A 3 for 4 day for Rafi Belliard. Just give him the MVP. He's got a home run and 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, and a run scored. And Marquise Grissom's going to follow that up with a double. Actually, Marquise Grissom is going to triple as he hits it to the wall and will wind up at third base. That is going to be a 2 RBI triple for Marquise Grissom on his horse, pushing the envelope, and a 3-bagger for Grissom. The score is now 7-4 as the Braves pour it on a little bit here in the 8th. A 33, that's going to be a fly out off of Plunk's card. That's a fly out to left center field. And it will be the 2nd out of the inning. We are going to go ahead and try to score that runner from third base, so we'll see if it's deep enough. It's a 1-6. Grissom will be safe at home. It's a 4, and Grissom slides in just ahead of the tag. So Polonia got it just far enough. And we get a sac fly there. So 3 runs are in the 8th, and it's now 8-2 as Luis Polonia, or 8-4, sorry, brings home the run. Another 22 and another double for Chipper Jones. And I think we got to get Eric Plunk out of here, as this one is to dead center field, and he hits that one off the base of the wall. Chipper is into second. He's 3 for 5 on the day, and let's get a new pitcher for the Indians. Not a great day for Eric Plunk. Let's go and bring in Alan Embry, maybe. So this one not turning out at all like the Indians had hoped. 4-2-4. Just 2/3 of an inning for Eric Plunk. He gives up 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, 3 runs, at least 3 runs so far. No walks and a K. So real tough outing there for Eric Plunk. And that'll bring up Freddie McGriff. McGriff is 1 for 3. A 25 will be a fly ball out to left field. It's always an adventure with Albert Bell. And he makes the catch in left, and that will end the inning. But Cleveland does give up 3 in the 8th to the Braves. It's now 8-4. Atlanta ahead. We need to get a new pitcher for Pena. Let's see who hasn't come in much. A bit of a lead here. Pedro Borbon. How about that? Can you believe Pedro Borbon is still in the majors at this point? Yes, it's that Pedro Borbon. And he'll have a 3.54. Steve Bedrosian was on this team too. So there's some old guys who were there. He is a lefty. I'll put a right-hander. And we get 1 inning for Pena. He gives up 1 hit, no runs, no walks and 2 Ks. Get someone here. Manny Ramirez will be up first. It's an 11. An 11 to Manram is going to be a walk, as that's really the one thing Cleveland needs is base runners. And the one thing Atlanta needs to do is to keep people off the bases. Another 11. That's going to be back-to-back walks. And Borbon's not going to be in there long if he keeps doing this. So runners at first and second now. In the bottom of the 8th inning, Cleveland is down 8-4. Espinoza to the plate. A 16 is going to be a fly ball. That goes to deep right field. That's going to move everybody up 1 base. So everybody moves over. And that brings up Sandy Alomar Jr. Sandy Alomar is 0 for 3. And a 15, that's going to be a base hit into left field. Everybody moves up 1. That's an RBI single. As 1 comes in from third, that's going to be Manny Ramirez scoring from third. Pedro Borbon against Kenny Lofton. Lofton 2 for 4. A 23 is going to be a ground out. And that's a grounder to the shortstop. Let's see if there's an error. There's no error on the play. And with a runners at first and third, we're going to go 6-4 on the putout. Fielder's choice. So we get that runner. It's going to score a run from third. So Kenny Lofton with an RBI ground out. He beats out the return throw. So 6-4 on the fielder's choice. And Herbert Perry comes home to score. We got 8-6 our score in the bottom of the 8th. Omar Vizquel to the plate. Vizquel hasn't done a whole lot, but he hits a single here into left center field. That's a long single. And that's going to push the runner to third base. And that will give us runners at the corners. And it's time to say bye-bye to this guy. And time to say hello to Bradley Klontz. Pedro Borbon throwing a little gasoline on the fire. Klontz needs to come in and shut him down. 3-5-8. Just what, 2/3 of an inning? So the same problem that Eric Plunk had, Pedro Borbon has. He gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, and 2 walks. Oof. No strikeouts. All right, Brad Clontz into the game. He's going to try to shut the door. 2 outs, runners at first and third for the Indians. It's a 55. A 55 is a line out or a foul out. With a 2, that's going to be a line out, and that's hit right to the first baseman. Nice play by Fred McGriff to make that catch for the 3rd out. He saves at least a run, maybe 2, and we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. It is 8-6. Barn burner here, 8-6. All right, Alan Embry has gone 1 batter. Let's just leave him in there. Let's see if he can get through some of these left-handers. He'll face Justice, Klesko, and Lopez. A 25 is going to be a fly ball. That's out to right field. The Manny Ramirez adventure begins, and he will make the catch in right. No error on the play. Brings up Ryan Klesko. Klesko is 1 for 4. A 12 is going to be a ground out. That's a little too hopper. To the shortstop, Vizquel makes a good throw, and that's going to be 2 outs in the inning. Javi Lopez up. He is 0 for 3. A 46 is going to be a strikeout. He'll be 0 for 4 as he gets caught looking at an Alan Embry breaking ball. And Embry with the 1-2-3 9th. Watch out. Yeah, he gives a no hits, no runs, no walks, and 1 K. So excellent outing for Alan Embry. And we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. It's an 8-6 lead for the Braves. You know who's coming in. The man of the hour, Mark Wohlers. Let's see if he can get it done. He's already got 2 saves in the series, and Bobby Cox is running him out there for a 3rd. So Brad Clontz goes just a 1/3 of an inning. Doesn't give up anything. And we have Mark Wohlers coming into the game. He'll face off against Joey Bell, Eddie Murray, and Manny Ramirez. Not the easiest path to victory. We'll see what happens here. A 36 is going to be a long single. So that is single number 3 for Bell. And for what it's worth, Bell is doing his part. He's 3 for 4 with 3 base hits and a walk. Brings up Eddie Murray. Murray 0 for the day. 45 though, that's a long single. That's going to push a runner to 3rd base. And that means runners are at the corners with nobody out, and Manny Ramirez standing in. Ramirez is 0 for 2 with a couple of walks. He's going to, we got a strikeout here. Would have been a walk, but with Mark Wohlers, that's a K. As he gets him looking, that's out number 1. Manny doesn't like it, but he is the first out of the inning. Brings up Herbert Perry. A double play ends the game. A home run would also end the game. A 35 is going to be a ground out that goes to the to the pitcher. The pitcher is going to try to turn 2, but 35, right? Yeah. He's going to try to turn 2, but he's not going to be able to. So they get the fielder's choice at second. That's going to score the run here, and just to make things a little bit tighter. So we go 1-6 on the fielder's choice. He gets an RBI for that. And it's up to Jim Thome. We're not going to let it be up to Alvaro Espinoza. Jim Thome. He comes in. Pinch hitter in the 9th. He is a +4. And it's up to the big man, Jim Thome. 314 average, 25 homers, 73 RBIs, a 996 OPS in 1995, and it's power against power. Home run wins it. It's a 36. That's going to be a base hit. A long single is going to push the runner to third base, and Jim Thome keeps hope alive as it is 8-7, and we're back to the top of the order. Or we're at Sandy Alomar Jr. Sorry, and he's probably about as good as you're going to get. No need to pinch hit for him. You got runners at the corners with this is 2 outs. 2 outs. Runners at the corners. Down by 1. This is what you dream of as a kid. Mark Wohlers ready to shut things down. Sandy Alomar Jr. ready to make his family lineage proud. And let's see who bends and who breaks. And it is Mark Wohlers with the fastball. He gasses him. Can't even pull the trigger. And that's going to be out number 3 as Mark Wohlers closes the deal. Gives up 1 run in the 9th, but holds on to the 1-run lead. So it's 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 5, 7. And that's an 8-7 victory for the Braves over the Indians. And so the Braves lead 3-1 as we head to game number 5. Let me take a break here and I will come back with all the totals. Alright, coming back with the totals. 8-7 is our final. Atlanta beats Cleveland in game 4 of the 95 World Series in Cleveland, behind a strong performance from Rafael Belliard, who gets our player of the game. Belliard, 3 for 4, a home run, 2 doubles, 2 runs scored, and 2 RBIs for the diminutive shortstop. Also, excellent game. Had a 2 RBI triple from Marquise Grissom, who also had a double. And it's really of note, Steve Avery actually is going to get the win. He stayed in long enough for them to score this run here in the 7th. And it kind of worked out in a funny way that he was in here. Pena didn't come in till the bottom of the 7th. So Steve Avery was still technically the pitcher of record. He gets gives up 7 hits and 4 runs, 2 walks and 6 Ks. Alejandro Pena with a nice inning. Pedro Borbon, a not nice inning. And then Mark Wohlers comes in to close it out. He did give up 1 run, but they had a 2-run cushion. So he gets the save. The loss is going to go to Austin Mocker, who gives up 2 runs, or 2 hits and a run here in the 7th inning. Ken Hill takes a no decision, 6 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs. And Alan Embry came in to close things down. Not such a great time for Eric Plunk, who gave up 4 hits and 3 runs in the 8th. The line score for the Braves, 8 runs on 15 hits and 1 error. For Cleveland, it's 7 runs on 13 hits and 2 errors. I think Albert Bell is closing in on a record. He's got an error in every World Series game that he's played in this series. 4 games, 4 errors. He is not a good defender. I don't know where his thing is, but he is a minus 7.6 on his defense, so he is not a good defender. But man, he hits the ball like crazy. Yeah, so this one is 3-1 Atlanta as we head to game 4. This will be the last, or game 5. Game 5 will be the last game in Cleveland. Let's see if Atlanta is going to be able to close this one out, or will Cleveland have some fight and force a game 6 back in Atlanta? We'll have to see. I think it's the Mad Dog on the mound, Greg Maddux, going for the jugular, and we'll see how things go in that game. This is played with On Base Baseball. You can get that at OnBase, or you can get it at ClarkandAddisonGaming.com. That's where you can go. I'll put the link down in the description. You won't even have to try to figure it out. You can just go right to the link where the URL is in the description, and you can see all the different seasons that are available. I also have the roster sheet sets that you can get. If you find yourself coming back to this channel and listening or watching different games, consider subscribing. You just hit that little subscribe button, and YouTube will let you know whenever I go live. They'll let you know when I post new videos. It'll come up in your subscriptions feed when you go to YouTube or when you go to the app, and you will definitely see those videos, and you won't have to worry about whether I'm posting anything new. You can also join the Facebook group. If you go to Facebook groups and you search for the Clark and Addison Gaming Company, you'll find us, answer a few questions. It's a private group, so you have to answer a few questions. I'll let you in, and then you'll get sort of the insider information about all the games that we're posting. That'll be where I post all games first that I'm recording. It'll also be a place where you can get information that I don't necessarily put anywhere else. I sometimes mention things on YouTube, but often like in development before I even put anything on YouTube. I will post things to Facebook. Also, like kind of what do you think, or helping me make some design decisions and things like that for different games. So sort of the insider information is on the Facebook groups. If you like what we're doing, just give it a thumbs up. That's a super easy way to support this channel, support what I'm doing. If you really like what I'm doing, go buy a season of something. And that's just an encouragement to me that people are still interested in what I'm doing and what I'm making. This is a super fun game. It's sort of a mix between APBA and Strat. You can tell when I'm playing. It flows really well. If there's anything that this game does, it flows really well and plays really easily. From what I've heard from people who played longer seasons, it is actually very accurate for as easy as it is to play and as well as it flows. I'm leaning on actual statistics for these cards, and so I would expect that over a full season it is going to be pretty accurate. We're getting a lot of triples in this game, but typically you're not going to have those kinds of rolls. I mean, a 22 is just it's a 2.78% chance of a roll, and then a triple on a 2.78% chance is like 22% out of 2.78%. So it's not a very big chance that you're getting triples. It's probably just because I'm rolling actual dice, and a little bit more variability with actual dice. You could also use the online dice roller that I have for this game, and that's listed in the game guide. So when you purchase the game or you download the game guide, you can get a link to that online dice roller. You can just look up On Base Dice Roller, On Base Baseball Dice Roller, and that should come up as well. It's at GitHub is where I host that, and so it's just a little online dice roller that you just click the roll button and it rolls digital dice. So if you need a quieter roll, or if you just want to have that like true randomness of a digital roller, you can use that. Feel free to.